Hey. So it's been a minute for sure. Had a lot going on. Like, my son's almost done with school and about to go to the Air Force. And I shared this a while back, but now it's becoming like a reality. And if I didn't turn back into a big old baby, I mean, I couldn't talk 2 days ago, just waterworks. And then yesterday was kind of like, and then stuff going on in my house that just stressful situations. But I woke up this morning and thought, you know what? I'm taking it back. I'm taking all my power back. And I'm going to go back to knowing the path that is beneficial for me. And that is walking by faith. You know, when I was in school, I walked by sight. And I found myself with groups of people that I didn't need to be around, but that was kind of safe at the time from what I could see, like these are the people that will keep you from getting bullied. These are the people that will help you have a good time or whatever it is. And then as I got older and my kids came along, that sight was still there because it was a precautionary measure to protect them. But then as I was in that toxic relationship, I started going more by faith, that God is going to protect me. God is guiding me in every step that I need to take. There are no wrong turns. There are no wrong choices. And even up until last year, it was pure blind faith and things were great. Everything was always working out for me. And now there's this struggle and a stall, and then it works out. And I've realized that comes by me saying, you know what? I need to see the outcome. I need to know what steps I need to take rather than me being led by faith and saying, okay, I'm being taken in the direction in which I'm going to go. It might upset people. It might let them down. It might make them feel like I'm not doing the best I can do. But then I had to look at the aspect that that's from another human standpoint, not from a higher power. So when it comes down to it, I'm back on the path for myself. And of course, it takes time to be like, am I positioning okay, I'm back being positioned to where I need to be, right? So that is that walking by faith and knowing that everything's going to work out exactly the way that it's supposed to when it's supposed to. And that is hard for most people because I realized whenever I started almost losing that faith, not letting it go completely, but when it was becoming harder for me to believe and good things were happening for me. It had to do with monetary constraints. And I see how the money game affects all of us, that we get put in these situations to where you can have a nice home and the next minute you can be homeless. You can afford food and a week later you're starving. And if there's no one there to help you, then you eventually just go without until, I don't know, you hit the streets and someone has some sympathy or you're just gone, whatever it is. But that also goes by walking by sight, what you can see, what you can understand. Because I will tell you, as of right now, my family has stepped up greatly. Most of them. The one that was living here, she showed me her true colors. So it's hard, yes, when you start realizing not all family is family in a way. Some people are just other people in your life, that they're self-serving. They don't care about anyone other than themselves. And those are things that we have to leave those people to do, right? Those are the people that you cut off when you're in a good energy and they eventually have to sit down and learn their own lessons. And I look at it as I intervened in somebody needing to learn a lesson. And on the backside, it kind of put strife and chaos into my life. So there's been a big stall in the last few months of everything that's been going on for me, and extreme stress and worry and all kinds of fear. And those are basically that negative energy, what we would call the devil energy, getting into my energy, my head, my life. And that energy in itself, when you allow that to be your guiding light, that's where you're going to fall off. So I just want to encourage you to, as hard as it is, walk by faith and not walk by sight, because we live in a world where there's a lot of illusions. There's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of competition. So when you look at it in that aspect, you're going to see life in a manner that it's going to destroy you slowly, you know. Whereas if you can get that faith back, that everything's going to work out. And I actually saw it from somebody else. Yesterday, she said, well, I'm not going to be making videos very much because I'm homeless as of right now. And I'll try to keep everyone updated. And within a few hours, she came back and everything was taken care of. I've experienced that twice, this month and last month. And like she said, Jesus paid the bill. I'm getting emotional because when you have lived like that, you know, when you know that everything that has happened for you is a saving grace and you step away from that path, it's really hard because you stop believing in such a way that it allows you that abundance to keep flowing into your life. Not because you expect it, not even because you deserve it, but because it's there for you. That you don't go around treating people like shit, using them, trying to misguide them, or just keep your mouth shut when things are being really nasty in front of you. You know, it's when you sit and look upon those things that you start accepting that more into who you are, rather than saying, you know, I'm not really down for that. I'm not saying I'm better than that. It's just not for me. You know, however you have to put it. But it's okay to walk away from situations that don't feel right. That's actually encouraged, because when we can start to walk away from those things that don't serve us in our spiritual sense, then we begin to open doors and pathways for ourselves that will take us to that place that brings our spirit just pure elation. And that's where we all really need to try to get back on that path. And the way you can do that is only through one way, and it's that higher power. And I know it's hard because the world we live in, people frown upon that for the most part. It's almost like, oh, who's your savior? Oh, someone's going to come and save you because you're special. It's not anything to do with those attitudes. The realistic side of the matter is when you do walk by faith. It's like Hansel and Gretel. Those breadcrumbs will always help you find your way. You know, you will always get out of the thick of the maze that you are in. But you're not going to do that by sedating your mind and keeping yourself closed away from everyone else, because we do function in a place that angels aren't going to knock on your door, but you're going to run into them out in the world, you know? And the more that you want to seclude yourself away, the more you're kind of pushing away possible blessings. And it's not to say that you have to go out in the world, because honestly, the last month, not this month, but last month, I couldn't. My car was in the driveway, just not usable for me, really. And I kept sitting here going, I don't know how this is going to work. I don't know any of like the next step. And even right now, I mean, just trying to make moves and make things work for me. And eventually I had to sit down and just bawl my eyes out and accept the reality that I'm not losing my son. He's going out in the world to grow. And I can only hope that I have led him in such a way that he's going to go out and succeed, you know. And he's been through so much, as well as my daughter, that they both look at situations and go, I don't want to end up like that. And that's their drive to become better than what they came from. And all of us have that capability to look within ourselves and say, you know what, there's a power within me. It was given to me. It was placed within me before I even came here. And it's only a matter of revitalizing that power within yourself, because when you can bring that back to life, you are now back on a GPS system, let's say. So I'm going to leave it right there. And I really do hope that this helps somebody, because I know I've needed it. I know I've needed to get back to sharing those words of love and comfort, compassion, wisdom that come from a higher power. and I haven't been. And I apologize for anybody that does get some sort of um, comfort or guidance. And I have been sitting around basically just kind of like sulking and unsure and almost hating life. So, sending you lots of love and light, and keep your head up. Things are going to get better. I promise you. Just got to get back on the good foot. Peace out. Bye bye.